Back here for game number 2 of these really nice night for a doubleheader here in Waukee, western suburbs of the Central Iowa area. Central Iowa Sports Network, my name is Emery Songer. We thank you for joining us as game 1 is going to be tough to beat. Dowling Catholic, the #1 team in the state, according to the brand new Iowa High School Baseball Coaches Association poll, which came out earlier today. Waukee was ranked 7th in that poll, even though they were just 7-5 on the year. Have beaten some really top-level teams, including several in the top 5. We're in position to beat #1 Dowling in game 1 of our doubleheader, but Dowling scored 3 runs with 2 outs in the top of the 7th inning to take a 5-4 lead. One they would not relinquish. Blake Anderson nailed it down for his second save, and the 2-hour and 12-minute ball game finished with a 5-4 score. Dowling improving to 12-1 on the season, and Waukee now 7-6. The two teams have gotten their lineups in. They are exchanging them at home plate, as is typical, of course. Waukee would love to seal this second game, but they did use their ace pitcher, Jackson Payne, through 6 2/3 innings in our first game. And they were very good 6 2/3 innings. He was nearing 100 pitches, however. And for head coach Dave Dirks and his staff, they did not feel comfortable having him go any further than that. Unfortunately for Waukee, they were unable to lock the game down before that one's over. So going to get one more crack at the #1 team and see if they can't earn a split with Dowling.
Welcome everybody back to the Waukee Baseball
as we get set to go. Dowling will bat first, of course. It'll be the DH, Brandon Bickford, followed by Hank Hamrick and Adam Brock. Those are your 3 seniors, DH, right fielder, and second baseman. By the way, the DH Bickford hitting for the pitcher, the junior, Connor Cox. Middle third is all juniors here for Dowling, Charlie Carell, Derek Enertson, and Mac Anderson. And then the lower third, sophomore Blake Anderson at third base. Jake Steingreber is going to get the start in the 8th slot, and he's a junior at short. And the catcher, Grant Mullenbach, is the junior behind the plate. Mark Roaring is a really aggressive team and a very good team. This team is #1 for a reason. So, Waukee 7-6 on the year as they're introducing their starting lineup. Jacob Barton, the junior left fielder, leads off. Another junior, Jackson Wentworth, at second base. He will bat second. The senior catcher, Alex Walsh. Junior first right fielder, Aiden McGee, in the cleanup spot. It'll be the DH, Jackson Payne, batting in the 5 spot, the senior. Camden Kaufman is the sophomore catcher. So Kaufman will get the start. We'll get his numbers. Donovan Akis batting in the 6th spot. He is a senior. He is going to be out in center field. Matthew John Jurius is the senior at first base, and then junior shortstop Colin Evers, and then senior third baseman Cooper Kraus is the #9 hitter. Let's go ahead and we'll listen in to our national anthem. Ready to play ball. Your umpires, Ricardo Alverio is behind home plate. Scott Anderson is out in the field. Dowling looking for what would be a very impressive sweep. Waukee just looking to try to salvage a split after nearly getting the win in game number 1. Starting pitcher for Waukee is the sophomore, Camden Kaufman. 2 appearances so far this season for Kaufman, 5 1/3 innings of work, 2.62 the earned run average with a 1.69 whip. That's walks and hits per innings pitched. Opponents hitting .273 against him. This is a weird week because usually you have Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Well, because July 3rd is a day in which many people are celebrating Independence Day, 4th of July. Because that's usually the case, and that is the case, nobody's playing on Friday. So these 2 teams play on Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And the reason that's important is because with pitch count rules in the state of Iowa, anybody who goes over 65 pitches tonight will not be available for any of the games the rest of the week on the mound. So trying to manage that is a really difficult and interesting part of coaching here in 2020. Those have been in effect the last few years, but it's still interesting to see how each coach kind of approaches that. For Dowling, for instance, they sent 5 guys to the mound, 4 of which could pitch as early as Wednesday, honestly, because they didn't go over 25 pitches, which is the you don't need any days off benchmark. Jackson Payne, the ace for Waukee, left with the lead. Although Waukee did not win, they ended up losing the game in the 7th inning. But he could not pitch for the rest of the week, having thrown 98 pitches. First pitch, a ground ball over to the shortstop, but that throw air-mailed. As Bickford trips around first base, he'll stay there. That'll be E6. Colin Evers, the shortstop, fielded it cleanly, but that ball was high out of the hand. Bickford, by the way, 1 for 4 and a run scored. He had an important infield hit to the left side, or to the right side rather, which allowed the game to continue. Hustling hard down the first base line, and also his hustle drew a throwing error on that play as well, and just a wild top half of the 7th inning. And all of the damage came with 2 outs in the inning. The first 2 guys struck out very quickly against Jackson Payne, and after a single by Adam Brauch, Payne was lifted for Jackson Wentworth, and then a walk, an infield hit, another error, a fielder's choice, and next thing you know, it's 5-4 Dowling, and they were able to hold on to steal game 1. Hank Hamrick is the batter. He's ahead in the count, 2-0. Here to Kaufman, the pitcher. Hamrick was 2 for 4 in game 1 with a run scored and an RBI. Both of his hits were infield hit variety. Just short lead over by Bickford at first base. As there's the check swing over the letters, 3-0. Dowling wearing those maroon uniforms. Dowling in script lettering across the chest, the white numbers on the front lower left-hand side and the back. Waukee has flipped from white uniforms to their purple look. Is that ball hammered by Hamrick down the right field line and down on his way to third, and will be held there as Bickford. He had to hold up, and now he's going to go because the ball gets away. On his way to third is Hamrick, and he will score. Hamrick at third base.
Next up, second baseman, number 26,
So,
Adam Brauch.
believe in my book, I think that's E4 on the throwback in. It's a double for Hamrick. Bickford had a hold up, didn't know if Aiden McGee out in right field was going to get to that ball. That was going to be an incredible play as there's a strike to Adam Brauch. Bickford scores. I want to go E4 on the relay throw, but I didn't exactly see where that ball came from. Actually, we're going to go E9 from right field. McGee's throw missing the cutoff man. So quickly 0-2 here to Brauch, who in game 1 went 1 for 4 with a run scored and an RBI. 0-2, swinging and a miss. He's down on strikes, and an important out here
Next up, first baseman,
for
number 20,
Camden
Charlie
Kaufman.
Corral.
So Charlie Carell now, the junior in the cleanup spot. Carell 0 for 3, but he did have a sacrifice bunt in game 1. Bats with a runner on third and 1 out. Plenty of cloud cover now. has really kind of regulated the temperature nicely. As there's another strike. Kaufman settling in here the last couple of batters. Our first pitch, by the way, 7:37. The 0-1. Popped up, foul ground out of play right side, and it's 0-2. 84 degrees at first pitch, cloudy skies. And we still have those winds blowing pretty well. We're going to go 10 to 15 miles per hour in from right center field. That misses to Carell, and it's 1-2. Kaufman kicks, fires. This ball grounded through the whole left side, a base hit and an RBI. Carell with the single. And it's quickly 2-0 in favor of Dowling.
Next up, center fielder, number 7.
Before we get to Derek Enertson's numbers from game one, let's get you the defense behind Camden Kaufman for Waukee. Jacob Barton in left field. Donovan Akes is in center with Aiden McGee in right. Cooper Krause is at third with Colin Evers at short. Jackson Whitworth at second, and Matthew Jonjurius getting the start at first base. Alex Walsh is behind the plate for the right-handed sophomore Camden Kaufman, who delivers ball one to Derek Enertson. The junior Enertson 0 for 3 in game number one. Runner at first, Charlie Carell. They look at him. Or at first base, not doing anything. Dowling had just 2 innings, really, of any offense at all. 2 runs on 3 hits in the 4th inning in game one, and then 3 runs on 3 hits in the 7th, and all of that damage with 2 outs. I keep saying that because there's immense pressure on a batter to try to keep a game going when you know that you're the last hope for your team, and especially when you're down multiple runs. As Enertson on the 2-0 pops it straight up, left side of the infield. It'll be the third baseman, Krause. He's got it. 2 away.
Next up, left fielder,
Mac Anderson now.
number 31, Mac Anderson.
Anderson went 1 for 1, an infield hit and a walk before he was lifted for a pinch hitter late in that 7th inning as well. Anderson does have a homer as well this season. Has shown pop in that bat. This pitch inside. 1-0. So that just tells you kind of what Dowling has to work with offensively. The lower portion of the order, finding a way to keep the game alive. Top of the order coming through with putting the ball in play. Rallying around to not just tie the game, but to take the lead and pull out a win that they probably should not have had against the Waukee ace of all people. Jackson, and they get Carell leaning the wrong direction. Quick throw, and it hits Carell, and he'll be safe at second base. It'll go down as a stolen base. They picked him off, had him dead to rights over at first base, leaning the wrong way, and Carell, I'm a big fan of this. If you're in a pickle, you might as well just run as hard as you can and be as big as you can right down the middle of the baseline. Just try to read where the fielder is, and what you want is to be hit by that ball just like Carell was. And that allows him to be safe because he is not out being hit by a ball while he's in the base paths unless it's off the bat of the Dowling hitter. As it's 2-1 now to Anderson. This pitch up and in. 3-1 to Anderson. Dowling, if you missed any of our action earlier, we have a brand new Iowa High School Baseball Coaches Association poll, and Dowling Catholic is number 1 in that. Waukee enters the poll at number 7 as that misses, and Anderson draws the walk. So first walk issued by Kaufman.
Blake Anderson.
The rest of the top 10 for Class 4A really loaded with Central Iowa teams. First pitch to Blake Anderson. He swings through the breaking ball 0-1. The sophomore Blake Anderson 0 for 3, but showed great glove work at third base and also pitched a very strong 7th inning to lock down his second save of the year. This ball hit out into left field, coming on and now backing up, reaching up, making the catch is Jacob Barton. But 2-run score in the top half of the first inning. After a half inning of play, it is Dowling 2, Waukee coming to bat. We'll get to those Class 4A rankings in full when we return right here on the Central Iowa Sports Network.
Why do I look for the seal? It's about trust. Whether I'm buying a car, hiring a contractor, finding a tax preparer, or an honest mechanic, the Better Business Bureau's seal means this business meets high standards. When I see the seal, I know I'll get what I pay for. No more taking chances and no more worries. And I feel good about supporting local businesses. My life is so much easier knowing I can always trust BBB accredited businesses. It pays to look for the seal. See for yourself at bbb.org/Iowa.
Here's to everyone who believes in competition and good sportsmanship, who knows it's not about the trophies or the medals, but rather the lessons learned. For those who understand, it's not whether you win or lose, just that you give your best. So go ahead, lace them up, take the field, have fun, and play. For the experience, for the memories, for the love of the game. Shields.
Back here live from Waukee High School's baseball fields. The CIML baseball standings, this was entering today's action. Dowling, of course, 11-1. They moved to 12-1. Waukee has fallen to 7-6 here in our doubleheader. But you see Johnston, you see Centennial, you see Ankeny, Urbandale, Southeast Polk, Waukee, all in the rankings of Class 4A for the brand new Iowa High School Baseball Coaches Association poll. It's Jacob Barton will lead it off here for the Warriors. Of the 10 teams in those rankings, by the way, 7 are from right here in the Metro, Central Iowa. The first pitch from Cooper Cox is low and away, 1-0. Jacob Barton in game 1, 1 for 2. He walked twice and he scored 2 runs, so a real spark plug at the top of this order for Waukee. This pitch inside, 2-0. Dowling number 1, Johnston is the number 2 squad with Urbandale, the defending champions in Class 4A, number 3. Southeast Polk, number 4, and Ankeny is number 5. So those are the top 5, all Central Iowa teams. Dowling actually plays Urbandale and Johnston Wednesday and Thursday as this is up the middle. Barton is knocked down by Brock backhand. Look at that throw in time. What a sliding play to his right up the middle by Adam Brock for the first out. Man, he is good out there at second base. As Jackson Wentworth comes up. Dowling plays Waukee, who's ranked 7th tonight in a doubleheader. They play at Urbandale, defending champions, number 3 in the state, on Wednesday. And then Thursday, take on number 2 Johnston at home. So what a week that is. 6 games for the Maroons to try to solidify this number 1 ranking. If you go 4-2, even 5-1, even 4-2, you're probably still well deserving of that number 1 ranking, considering that schedule. As it's 1-1 to Wentworth. The junior went 0 for 3 with a sacrifice bunt in game number 1. This one bounces in. It's 2-1 here to Wentworth. So Dowling, Johnston, Urbandale, Southeast Polk, and Ankeny, the top 5. They're followed by Sioux City East, the first team from outside the Metro. They are ranked 6th. Waukee, as mentioned, number 7. Dubuque Hempstead out in eastern Iowa is number 8 with Iowa City Liberty, one of the newest high schools in Class 4A. They're number 9, and then Ankeny Centennial rounds out the top 10. So that pitch misses. Wentworth draws a walk. Connor Cox is the pitcher. Didn't get to his numbers as Alex Walsh comes to the plate. Connor Cox, 3 games, 2 of which were starts. He's 1-1 on the year, 12 innings of work. He's been good numbers-wise. A .58 earned run average, .67 the whip. That's walks and hits per innings pitched. He's only walked 3, struck out 10, and opponent's hitting just 109 against him. So pitchers aplenty, and he's coming from that left side to southpaw. Delivers first pitch to Walsh off the end of the bat into center field. Enertson is there. He makes the play. 2 away. The defense behind Connor Cox. Mac Anderson is in left field with Derek Enertson in center. Hank Hamrick is in right, the typical outfield for the Maroons. Blake Anderson, the sophomore, sure-handed over there at the hot corner with Jake Steingreber getting the task at shortstop in Game 2. Adam Brauch, we saw that great play earlier this inning at second base. Charlie Carell at first with Grant Mullenbach, the catcher for Connor Cox, the lefty, who delivers a strike to Aiden McGee. 0-1 to McGee. This one outside, and it's 1-1. McGee out of the cleanup spot went 1 for 3 with an RBI in Game 1. That misses as well. It's 2-1. As mentioned, the High School Baseball Coaches Association rankings out every other week, so you're only going to get 3 or 4 polls at all. And they do not have any bearings on the point system, which sets the seeding for what we do. It's just kind of a point of reference for the teams and where everybody feels the teams are. But it definitely gives you a good idea. Is another 5-pitch walk, this time to McGee. Walks haven't been an issue for Connor Cox so far this season, but pitching and baseball generally can vary greatly from one day to the next. And the DH Jackson Payne comes up. He pitched a whale of a ball game, just could not quite finish it out in the first game. Got a no decision. And at the plate, he went 0 for 2 with a walk. He takes a strike here. Payne is set to move on to the next level, play at the University of Iowa to play baseball for them starting next year. Likely going to be one of their top pitchers coming in. Look at, somehow Anderson gloved that and throws it to first base. How does he keep doing it over there at third base? The sophomore just kind of threw his glove at that chopper. Looked like it was a seeing eye single, or was bound to be. And instead, a robbery by Anderson at third. And Waukee does not score and leaves a pair on. Through one inning, Dowling 2, Waukee nothing here on CISN.
We might not always know what the day will bring, but some things are certain. The sun will rise and your lights will go on. That's because at MidAmerican Energy, we're obsessively, relentlessly committed to providing you energy when and where you need it, to connecting with you and keeping our communities safe and strong. Because the most important thing we put our energy into is you. We're obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
Hi, Ron here, head coach of Westside Auto Pros. When your car's on the injured reserve, you want to get it back in the game as soon as possible. I know that. That's why you need to bring it here to Westside Auto Pros. I have a team of experts that can fix almost every automotive injury. Whether it's a fractured joint, a brake, or if your car just got its bell rung, no problem. We can even do a complete physical on your car to make sure it's game ready for the entire season. So bring your car to Westside Auto Pros and we'll get it back in the starting lineup in no time. Hey, you guys are dogging it back here. Let's move it, move it, move it.
Jake Steingreber is going to lead off inning number 2, and the first pitch popped out into shallow right field. Aiden McGee is there, and 1 pitch, 1 out. Steingreber enters at 0 for 6 at the plate, drawing the start at shortstop here for Game 2, and flies out to right for the first out. And now Grant Mullenbach will come up. Mullenbach just 2 for 7 at the plate with a couple of singles, 2 RBI. He's also walked 3 times, so he's found ways to get on base. Takes a strike here, however, from Camden Kaufman, the sophomore right-hander. It's a ground ball over to third. Nice play, gloving it by Krause. Over to first in time. Some hot corner magic from Blake Anderson and Cooper Krause through both of these 2 games we've seen. Quickly, 2 outs. That'll bring up Brandon Bickford at the top. He hit a slow-rolling ground ball to Colin Evers at shortstop, but Evers airmailed the throw to first. Bickford would eventually come around to score to start the game in the first inning. Good breaking ball there, 0-1 from Kaufman. The sunshine that we saw for the most part throughout Game 1 has given way to cloud cover as this is popped out into shallow right field. McGee running on. He's there, and he'll make the catch. Just a 5-pitch inning for Kaufman to get out of the second. We're through an inning and a half. We'll come right back with that weather conversation next. Still 2-0 Dowling over Waukee here on CISN.
a recent spring storm, a freak tornado formed and moved through the north side of Schottenkirk Chevy Waukee. Depending on damage, most new vehicles with minor cosmetic imperfections. Affected new Chevys will be sold for thousands below market value, with a limited number of storm-damaged vehicles available. Time is of the essence to take advantage of this opportunity. You get the rebates and discounts. Now take thousands more off storm-damaged vehicles. Limited time savings. Schottenkirk Chevy Waukee. WaukeeChevy.com.
We might not always know what the day will bring, but some things are certain. The sun will rise and your lights will go on. That's because at MidAmerican Energy, we're obsessively, relentlessly committed to providing you energy when and where you need it, to connecting with you and keeping our communities safe and strong. Because the most important thing we put our energy into is you. We're obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
Well, after a quick 5-pitch inning, Cooper Cox right back out there to work. He'll face Donovan Akes, Matthew Jonjurius, and Colin Evers, the three due-up hitters, 6, 7, and 8 for Waukee here. Bottom of the second inning. The reason I brought up the weather is because there was a little bit of rain in this forecast. It doesn't look like we're going to get hit with any unless something drastically changes. All the weather apps say that we should be in the clear. Just a mild 10 to 15% chance of rain at all tonight. As the first pitch to Akes is in there for a strike, 0-1. But it more so has taken the sun out of the equation for the outfielders and infielders on balls hit into the air. As that sun was going to continue to kind of glare into the eyes. This kind of position to where the sun will be a factor if it is staring right into the face, as that's foul tipped right off of the catcher Mullenbach. Looks like he's all right, though. Still 0-2 to Akes. By the way, Akes in game one went 0 for 3. The 0-2 is grounded foul. So with the sun not really being a factor, as just little rays are kind of peeking through certain holes in the clouds out on the horizon. It also has cooled us off quite a bit here. Real feel at the beginning of game one was over 90 degrees, around 93, 94 degrees. Real temperature was about 88. Yeah, that just misses off the outside corner. It is 1-2. Humidity and even those UV rays making it feel hotter than it actually was thermostat-wise is the 1-2. Right off the back of Akes. He takes one for the team on a 2-strike count. He'll take it. And the hit batter is on at first.
Next up, first baseman, number 2, Matthew Jonjurius.
Connor Cox, that is the third man he has hit this season. And for Akes, that is the second time he has taken a hit by pitch. Not afraid to wear one to get on base. Matthew Jonjurius, his first pitch he sees here is going to be out of play right side on a foul ball, 0-1. Jonjurius was the DH in game one. He went 1 for 3 with a single. Right now, at the beginning of this game, it was 84 degrees. The real feel had dropped down to about 87, 88. As this ball through the hole left side, Jonjurius has himself a hit. Second hit of the doubleheader for him.
Shortstop, number 17, Colin Evers.
And so with runners on first and second and nobody out, Colin Evers an opportunity to try to put an inning together here offensively for the Warriors. Evers played defense but did not bat in the first game. Has batted plenty this season, though, just 2 for 21. Going to try to get an opportunity to move the runners along at least here, and he takes a strike from Connor Cox, 0-1. On deck, Cooper Kraus, as Mullenbach, after that pitch, wants to go out and talk to his lefty. Defense for the Maroons, kind of shaded toward right field, except the left fielder, Mac Anderson. There's a big gap in the power alley to left center field. They are certainly playing the batter Evers to pull. Corners, they're pretty in. There's a nice breaking ball in there, 0-2. And Carell now, the first baseman, will get back to bag even or maybe even a little further back, as you would think that if their bunt was called, the bunt is now off. With 2 strikes. This pitch low and inside. Good take by Evers, 1-2. Yeah, if you're unfamiliar with the bunt rule, a foul bunt with 2 strikes results in a strikeout. It's the way the rule has always been. The 1-2, well outside. Another good take by Evers, and it's 2-2. Well, batting average not very high so far this season for Evers, but certainly showing the ability to see pitches from the lefty. Not a great matchup, lefty versus lefty, for a batter typically, but a 2-2 on the way. There's a swing and a miss. Got that one sinking through the zone. First strikeout recorded by Connor Cox, and that's the first out of the inning. And that'll bring up Cooper Kraus.
Number 5, Cooper Kraus.
Kraus went 1 for 3 with a run scored in game number 1 for Waukee, and now he'll bat with runners on first and second and 1 out here, bottom of the second inning. That pitch paints the outside corner, 0-1. Home plate umpire Ricardo Alvario. Base umpire Scott Anderson. Runners take their leads again. Corners of the infield just inside the bags. There's that one just a little quick by Kraus, and he's in the hole 0-2 with Jacob Barton, one of the best average hitters. On deck for Waukee. 0-2 the count. Out of the stretch, Cox kicks, fires. That's fouled out of play. That'll bounce off the street behind us. Little 2-lane road behind us. Waukee, pretty quiet around these parts, and unless you're on Hickman or University. Not sure how long it'll be that way. This is poked out into right field. That'll drop for a base hit. Runners will have to hold, though, as a great throw from right field. Hank Hamrick. We know he's going to play baseball at Bradley University in Peoria at the Division I level. And he was able to field that on a hop. Runners didn't get that good of a jump because that was in the air long enough to where they kind of had a freeze. But Kraus gets credit for a hit, and with 2 strikes in that count, it's good work by him to put it in play. Bases are loaded now. Bottom of the order has done their job. Now it's the top that needs to try to plate 1 or 2 here. Down by 2. Carell and Anderson of the corners are on the edge of the infield grass. Up the middle with 1 out. Double play depth for Steingreber and Braug. First pitch, catches the inside corner to Barton. Good movement on that pitch from the lefty. And again, lefty on lefty here. Not an ideal situation for Barton, but he is a great hitter. He entered this doubleheader batting .458 with an on-base of .517. As he foul tips this straight down, and he is in the hole, 0-2. A lot of strikes being thrown here in the second inning by Connor Cox. It's just a matter of can Waukee put them in play. 0-2 the count to the Waukee left fielder. Bases loaded and just 1 out. Cox fires just inside. This is a tough pitch to take there by Barton, but it paid off for him. It was ball 1. 1-2 is the count. Corners of the infield, and a ball hit right to him. They'll come home for the force out. The 1-2 on the way. Barton swings and misses strike 3. That is another big strikeout.
Next up, second baseman, number 32, Jackson Wentworth.
The lefties just have a hard time getting that breaking ball and the fastball figured out timing-wise. And now it's up to Wentworth to try to allow Waukee to score 1 or 2 here. Take advantage of the bases loaded situation. First pitch to him, hit high in the air, left center field. Charging in is both the center fielder and right fielder, but Enertson will make the running catch in the gap, and that'll retire the side. Connor Cox works in and out of trouble here in the second, and through 2, it is Dowling 2, Waukee nothing right here on the Central Iowa Sports Network.
Why do I look for the seal? It's about trust. Whether I'm buying a car, hiring a contractor, finding a tax preparer, or an honest mechanic, the Better Business Bureau's seal means this business meets high standards. When I see the seal, I know I'll get what I pay for. No more taking chances and no more worries. And I feel good about supporting local businesses. My life is so much easier knowing I can always trust BBB accredited businesses. It pays to look for the seal. See for yourself at bbb.org/Iowa.
Here's to everyone who believes in competition and good sportsmanship, who knows it's not about the trophies or the medals, but rather the lessons learned. For those who understand, it's not whether you win or lose, just that you give your best. So go ahead, lace them up, take the field, have fun, and play. For the experience, for the memories, for the love of the game. Shields.
It'll be Hamrick, Brauch, and Carell here for the Maroons as the sun does peek through some clouds here. Hamrick absolutely tanks a shot deep right field, way back, and it is a fair ball and gone. Hank Hamrick, first pitch he sees here in the third. A rope down the right field line for a solo shot, and Dowling a 3-0 lead. The Bradley commit shows why he's going to play Division I baseball at the next level. Not just a great football player, an amazing baseball player, and that's what he'll be doing at the next level. Home run number 2 for him on the season. What a dangerous hitter he is, and Adam Brauch now comes to the plate. Base is empty, nobody out. Want to know the count to him. And the delivery from Camden Kaufman. Foul tipped into the mid of the catcher, Alex Walsh. 1-1. And that one comes in low. 2-1. The 2-1. That ball roped out in the right field. That's a base hit. Brauch is aboard with a single.
Next up, number 20, first baseman, Charlie Carell.
Three 3-0 the score. Dowling would love to give plenty of space for the pitching staff to be managed. However, Coach Mark Roaring and his staff wants to utilize his guys. This is fouled straight back off the screen by Charlie Carell at an RBI single first time through in the first, and eventually would steal second base. Warriors wearing those purple uniforms trimmed in white. Warriors across the front. White number on the front left part of the front of the uniform and on the back, the white pants. Dowling in the gray pants on the road with the maroon Dowling as Carell shows bunt, pops it up. It'll be caught in foul ground by Alex Walsh for out number 1. Carell is a very adept bunter.
Number 17, Derek Enerson.
He's very adept at bunting. We saw it in the first game. He's not afraid to lay him down, even though he is in the cleanup spot, which is typically reserved for RBI guys, extra base hit guys. He can do that too, but shows you a little bit of everything as they check on Brauch over at first base, and rightly so. Brauch, one of several players in this order that loves to steal bases, 8 for 9 on the year coming in. Second on the team behind only Hamrick, who's now 13 for 13 after stealing a base in game 1. Nice breaking ball in there to Derek Enertson from Camden Kaufman. Enertson popped up. The third baseman, Cooper Kraus, on the left side of the infield, first time up back in the first inning. There's one out and a runner on first. Runner goes. That one's in there for a strike. Throw down to second base is there, and the tag is applied. Caught stealing. It's a good throw down there from Walsh. It was Wentworth, the second baseman, who applied the tag. So 0-2 the count to Enertson, and now all of a sudden 2 outs, and the bases are empty. That's just the third time this season a Dowling base stealer or would-be base stealer has been thrown out. As there's a check swing, dropping the ball, Walsh, and then he throws it away. Good backup there by McGee, but it's going to go E2 on the strikeout. So K, strikeout number 2.
Next up, left fielder, number 31, Mac Anderson.
E2. And Mac Anderson will get a chance to bat here. As I mentioned, Brouk being caught stealing. It's the second time he's been caught, but just the third time anybody from Dowling has been caught trying to steal a base. That's how successful. They're just not aggressive recklessly. They are aggressive and successful typically in their base stealing abilities. This pitch inside. 1-1 here to Mac Anderson. He drew a walk first time through in the first. Enertson has reached. Quick pickoff move, not in time. It wasn't a huge lead over there for Enertson, but you still want to check on him. You do not want to allow these Dowling base runners to get a head start on you. Even with Walsh and his really good arm. There's a called strike here to Anderson. It's 1-2. Blake Anderson is the on-deck hitter. Should Mac Anderson find a way to reach. 3-0 Dowling. The 1-2 in the dirt. Nice block by Walsh. Keeps it in front of him, and it's 2-2. Camden Kaufman sets and fires. This pops straight up. Foul ground. Walsh is there, tosses the mask, makes the catch for the third out. But the leadoff solo home run, Hank Hamrick, gives Dowling a 3-0 lead as we'll head to the bottom of the third right here on the Central Iowa Sports Network.
Central Bank, proud to be a long-standing Iowa tradition. Founded in 1887 in Storm Lake, we've grown over the years from that one location to a bank serving Northwest and Central Iowa, employing more than 200 people in the region. Being here and being from here, it makes Central Bankers unique in the banking world. Decisions are made here. Investments of our time and resources are made here. For us, banking is still about people. Our reverence for community and hard work speaks to a proud Iowa heritage. Our passion for small business to bold new directions forward for our bank and the Iowans we serve. Thank you for your support of Central Bank. Let's keep it going. Let's plan together. Let's execute for Iowa's small business, agricultural, and individual banking customers. Central Bank is ready to make it happen. Member FDIC.
Connor Cox, back out for inning number 3 for him pitching. It'll be the heart of the order for the Warriors. Alex Walsh, Aiden McGee, Jackson Payne due up for Waukee. Trailing 3-0. Dowling with 2 in the first, 1 in the top of this third inning, which was the home run by Hamrick.
Catcher, number 4, Alex Walsh.
Alex Walsh comes to the plate. He flew out to center field first time up back in the first inning. First pitch is hit out into right field. Hamrick is there. He'll squeeze this one. The line out is 1 pitch, 1 out. Walsh has seen 2 pitches, and he's flown out 2 different spots in the outfield on those. It'll be McGee. Drew a 5-pitch walk back in the first inning. And he'll take a strike at the knees here. Connor Cox would love to go deep in this one. Can you allow arms to rest down there? Dowling used 5 guys to get through game 1, which was a successful effort. The 4th guy, Owen Brouk, and the 5th guy, Blake Anderson, got the win and save respectively in the come-from-behind victory, 5-4. So that one's up high, and it's 2-1. Here's the delivery from the lefty. Popped way foul, out of play. And 2-2 is the count. Here's some fireworks in the background. It's a 2-2 on the way. in the dirt. Fireworks, of course, legal in most spots in Iowa. The Des Moines Metro, not one of them, but out here in Waukee, every jurisdiction, every city, county, they have their own local rules. So be sure to find those out before you light your own off. As the 3-2 pitch misses. Second walk issued to McGee. Third total in the game from Connor Cox. And Jackson Payne now will bat. He grounded to third. Blake Anderson just kind of stabbed his glove at it, and it stuck in there, and the sophomore made an accurate throw to get Payne at first base by a step. This pitch inside. McGee will head on down to second. And one well inside. You can go pass ball, wild pitch. I'm going to go wild pitch in my book. It doesn't really matter, though. Free base is a free base. 1-0 the count to Payne here. If you're Waukee, you'd love to scratch at least one across here. You had the bases loaded last inning, couldn't get anything across, stranded 2 in the first. Got to start taking advantage of these innings where you have base runners on, especially with less than 2 outs. Chance to move them over, drive them in. And you know, Dowling is just going to keep the pressure on you with their offense. The 2-0. That ball chopped, foul. 2-1 the count to Jackson Payne. The Iowa Hawkeye commit. His pitching was really good in game number 1, just could not get that final out, was lifted. And unfortunately for Waukee, the lead was not secure. As that one in there for a strike, and it's now 2-2. Cox, left-hander. He is showing a few different really solid pitches that he has been able to locate with regularity so far in this one. As there's another breaker, that's just a hair quick from Payne. It's foul. Still 2-2 with 1 out and a runner at second base. Cox looks in and gets the sign, accepts. Lifts and fires. This ball lifted into center field. Enertson doesn't really have to do a whole lot. And even though McGee kind of faked like he wanted to go to third base, Enertson knew better. So he did not rush a throw in. Easily threw back in. Second out, nothing done on the base pass for McGee, and that'll bring up Donovan Akis, the number 6 hitter. He was hit by a pitch after fouling a few pitches off to keep himself alive and was plunked right in the back. Cox tried to get him out this time. That's off the end of the bat for a foul ball. Oh, 0-1 the count. Both these teams in action on Wednesday. They have tomorrow off. Dowling travels to take on Urbandale, number 3 squad in the state in Class 4A. Also, the defending state champions in Class 4A. That's up high. It's 1-1. On the other side for Waukee, they are on the road to take on Southeast Polk in Pleasant Hill. Southeast Polk, by the way, number 4 in the state. So plenty of ranked matchups. There's a quick pickoff move back to second, not in time, as McGee dives back safely. Yeah, it's just, if you're a baseball fan, this is a great place to be. It doesn't stop there. Number 1, Dowling plays number 3, Urbandale, and then number 2, Johnson on Thursday. So Wednesday, Thursday, they take on number 3 and number 2. And as the number 1 team in the state, it just doesn't get much better than that in the way of competition, especially after taking on number 7 Waukee here for a doubleheader on a Monday. Valley not ranked, 4-7 coming in to today's action. But still a team you're going to have to pay close attention to. They travel to face Waukee here on this field this Thursday as well. As there's a swing and a miss, strike 3, and that will retire the side as Akis goes down. Third strikeout for Cox, and we're through 3. It is Waukee trailing number 1 Dowling. 3-0 right here on CISN.
We might not always know what the day will bring, but some things are certain. The sun will rise and your lights will go on. That's because at MidAmerican Energy, we're obsessively, relentlessly committed to providing you energy when and where you need it, to connecting with you and keeping our communities safe and strong. Because the most important thing we put our energy into is you. We're obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
Why do I look for the seal? It's about trust. Whether I'm buying a car, hiring a contractor, finding a tax preparer, or an honest mechanic, the Better Business Bureau's seal means this business meets high standards. When I see the seal, I know I'll get what I pay for. No more taking chances and no more worries. And I feel good about supporting local businesses. My life is so much easier knowing I can always trust BBB accredited businesses. It pays to look for the seal. See for yourself at bbb.org/Iowa.
It'll be Blake Anderson, Jake Steingreber, and Grant Mullenbach due up, lower third of the order here for the Maroons. As the top of the fourth inning, Camden Kaufman's first pitch off the outside corner. 1-0 as Anderson showed bunt. Anderson had a couple of big games early this season offensively, including at Principal Park against Des Moines Lincoln on the first week of the year. That has cooled off at the plate. That hasn't affected his ability to pitch or field his position at third base. He has been upper echelon in both of those this year. Sophomore has a 2-0 count in his favor, though. 0 for 1, he flew out to left field first time up, and now he has a 3-0 count. See what he's able to do. A couple of guys like Steingreber and Mullenbach behind him that haven't gotten a whole lot of at-bats. See what they can do maybe with the runner on, but not yet. As Kaufman gets that pitch over on the outside corner for a strike. 3-1. 3-1. That's in the air, left field. Barton ranging in fair territory, makes the play, and that is out number 1. Second time Anderson has flown out to Barton.
Now hitting number 24, shortstop, Jake Steingreber.
So that'll bring up Steingreber with 1 out, nobody on. He flew out to right field, so he and Anderson both going to the opposite field on flyouts each of their first couple of times at bat. Steingreber would like to try to get himself on. He takes the ball in the dirt here, 1-0. 1 ball, no strikes. 1 out, nobody on, and that pitch up around the eyes from Camden Kaufman. Kaufman over the 40 pitch mark. He would not be available until next week either way. We might as well see how many pitches you can get out of him. Actually, 65 is really the mark to pay attention to because he would be available on Thursday if he's 65 or under. Again on 3-0, delivers a strike in the outer half. So see if he can come back and get this out as well. It's taking a lot more pitches when you do it this way, but an out is an out. This delivery, chopped, third base side. This is going to be a tough play. It's going to be Kaufman fielding it, throw to first, not going to be in time. Gets away, Steingreber on his way to second base. He's going to get there without a throw. Infield hit by my book. Kaufman, I mean, there's just nothing you can do on a swinging bunt placed right there.
Next up, catcher.
But it will go E1. Just trying to do too much. And it's easy for me to say up here in the booth, talking about a kid trying not to make a play. Maybe the smart play is to not try to fire the ball over to first base. But that does allow the runner to get in the scoring position with 1 out, and the first pitch low and away to Grant Mullenbach, 1-0. Mullenbach is 0 for 1, grounded out to Cooper Kraus, the third baseman, in the second inning. Here in the top of inning number 4. Kaufman accepts the sign out of the stretch, kicks and fires. Line drive right at the shortstop, quick throw to second. They got him. They got Steingreber a little too far off of second base, and they double him off. Line drive right at Evers. It's a hang with him there for Mullenbach. He lines out. Quick throw back behind, 6-4 on the double play, and that'll retire the side. Halfway home here, game 2. It is 3-0 in favor of Dowling right here on CISN.
We might not always know what the day will bring, but some things are certain. The sun will rise and your lights will go on. That's because at MidAmerican Energy, we're obsessively, relentlessly committed to providing you energy when and where you need it, to connecting with you and keeping our communities safe and strong. Because the most important thing we put our energy into is you. We're obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
Hi, Ron here, head coach of Westside Auto Pros. When your car's on the injured reserve, you want to get it back in the game as soon as possible. I know that. That's why you need to bring it here to Westside Auto Pros. I have a team of experts that can fix almost every automotive injury. Whether it's a fractured joint, a brake, or if your car just got its bell rung, no problem. We can even do a complete physical on your car to make sure it's game ready for the entire season. So bring your car to Westside Auto Pros and we'll get it back in the starting lineup in no time. Hey, you guys are dogging it back here. Let's move it, move it, move it.
It is Connor Cox out for the bottom of the 4th inning. He'll face the lower third of the Waukee order. Matthew Jonjurius, Colin Evers, and Cooper Kraus. Just in that last inning, I call it a hang with them. You hit it right on the screws, and it just goes in the book as an out. Line drive right at Evers, as this is a chopper over to third base. Anderson fires over to first. A close play, but in time by a half step. Good hustle by Jonjurius to make it a close play at first base, but one pitch, one out. Evers, who made that catch at shortstop and was able to fire a ball to second to his middle infield mate, Jackson Wentworth, to double off Steingreber out at second. Just got caught a little too far off after the ball was hit real hard. And that's the only reason why the double play was able to be made. It was hit so hard right at the shortstop that it didn't give Steingreber enough time to get back to second base. Evers 0-1 the count to him here, lefty versus lefty. And that drops perfectly in there 0-2. Both strikeout victims, 2 of the 3 I should say, are lefty batters against this lefty pitcher throwing all sorts of junk is Connor Cox. And it's just tough, lefty versus lefty for these batters. And there once again, tag is applied for the out. 4th strikeout for Cox, 2nd strikeout of Evers.
Third baseman, number 5, Cooper Kraus.
And now Cooper Kraus is up. He singled out into right field last time up, back in the 2nd. And his first pitch popped up, foul ground, out of play, over everything, and it'll be out. And the sewer in the ditch out behind us. 0-1 the count. Cox's second pitch. This is just off the end of the bat on a cue shot, and it's foul, and it's 0-2, and Cox 1 strike away from making quick work of the Warriors here in the 4th. The 0-2 on the way. That's a rope out into center field, and it's a base hit. Kraus in the 9-hole is 2 for 2 with a couple of singles. And that'll bring up another lefty,
Left fielder,
Jacob Barton. Barton, a lefty batter, has been fooled by the left-handed pitching of the southpaw Connor Cox. Grounded to second in the 1st and then struck out swinging in the 2nd. See if the 3rd time through is anything for a guy who bats well over 400 on the season. I'm sure he's been taking some notes, and he is a dangerous bat up there. With 2 outs and a runner on first, we'll see as he chops the first one foul softly, 0-1. For Dowling, 2 runs in the 1st, just 1 in the 3rd. Nothing across at all so far for Waukee. 3-0 our score here, bottom of the 4th inning, game 2 of our doubleheader. Dowling won game 1 in come from behind fashion. There's a foul tip into the mitt, and it's quickly 0-2. 5-4 was the final score of our first game, with Dowling trailing 4-2 with 2 outs in the 7th. Came back, take a 5-4 lead, and then Blake Anderson nailed it down. This is grounded over to second base. Brauch fields it. Throw to first. In time to get the speedy Barton, and that'll retire the side. 2-out single by Kraus does nothing. And we're through 4. It is still 3-0. It is Dowling over Waukee here on CISN.
Central Bank, proud to be a long-standing Iowa tradition. Founded in 1887 in Storm Lake, we've grown over the years from that one location to a bank serving northwest and central Iowa, employing more than 200 people in the region. Being here and being from here, it makes central bankers unique in the banking world. Decisions are made here. Investments of our time and resources are made here. For us, banking is still about people. Our reverence for community and hard work speaks to a proud Iowa heritage. Our passion for small business to bold new directions forward for our bank and the Iowans we serve. Thank you for your support of Central Bank. Let's keep it going. Let's plan together. Let's execute for Iowa's small business, agricultural, and individual banking customers. Central Bank is ready to make
More
it
action
happen.
on Wednesday
Member
on
FDIC.
Central Iowa Sports Network, CISN.TV. Couple of ranked matchups for you, and all from the same town. Ankeny taking on Centennial. Ankeny in baseball ranked number 5, Centennial ranked 10th. And in softball, Centennial ranked 11th and Ankeny ranked 15th. So 2 matchups of ranked teams, both games, both doubleheaders scheduled to start 5 p.m. You can check it out, CISN.TV. $5 get you a single game pass. $30 get you a full season pass, as we'll take you all the way through the middle of July here on the Central Iowa Sports Network. Top of the order for Dowling here in the 5th, facing Camden Kaufman. 1-1 the count to Brandon Bickford, who will be followed by Hank Hamrick and Adam Brauch, the 3 scheduled hitters for the Maroons here in the 5th. The 1-1, that's inside. 2-1. Bickford is 0 for 2, reached on an error and scored in the first, and then he flew out to right field in the second. The 2-1. That ball lined out in the right center field. That's McGee. Kind of came on a little bit and then had to kind of back up, make more of a direct line to it, but lined it up nicely. A hard hit ball, but McGee playing him well for the first out. And that'll bring up Hank Hamrick. Hamrick is 2 for 2, and he's hit the ball hard both times. In the first inning, hit a double just shy of the wall in the right field corner. And then in the third, elevated it a little bit, hit it to the same spot, but this time it went over the wall for a solo home run. Long set, time called by Hamrick. Kaufman will step off the rubber and then get back on it. The senior, Hamrick, big part of the state championship in football again this year. This is just foul. Man, he swings it, and when he makes contact, it is hit hard. He does not get a lot of soft contact off his bat. As we mentioned, we know where one of these seniors is going for the next level. We'll let you know. And Hamrick, we know, is playing the Missouri Valley Conference. We'll be playing some baseball at Bradley University, Peoria, Illinois. 0-1 the count. Up and away, 1-1. One of a few Division I baseball players from these two teams. Central Iowa chock full of top-notch baseball talent. It's the 1-1. That's outside. And it's 2-1. Kaufman is dancing around that 60-pitch mark. He's actually at 62 after this delivery. As that one popped up on the infield, Kaufman's under it. He's got it for the out. Just mentioned, you can see a lot of soft contact. That one just a little bit in on the hands and then just popped him up for the out. So Hamrick is out for the out number 2, and that'll bring up Brauch, Adam Brauch. He's 1 for 2, struck out swinging in the first and then singled in the third. Kaufman winds, fires, first pitch, popped up right side, could be playable. Ranging over is John Jurius. He's there, and he makes the catch to retire the side. So Kaufman gets through 5, and he's still under that 65 pitch mark by my count. We'll reset that for you, but we'll head to the bottom of the 5th. Waukee down by 3, coming to bat when we come back here on CISN.
Why do I look for the seal? It's about trust. Whether I'm buying a car, hiring a contractor, finding a tax preparer, or an honest mechanic. The Better Business Bureau's seal means this business meets high standards. When I see the seal, I know I'll get what I pay for. No more taking chances and no more worries. And I feel good about supporting local businesses. My life is so much easier knowing I can always trust BBB accredited businesses. It pays to look for the seal. See for yourself at bbb.org/Iowa.
In a recent spring storm, a freak tornado formed and moved through the north side of Shunkirk Chevy Waukee. Depending on damage, most new vehicles with minor cosmetic imperfections. Affected new Chevys will be sold for thousands below market value, with a limited number of storm-damaged vehicles available. Time is of the essence to take advantage of this opportunity. You get the rebates and discounts. Now take thousands more off storm-damaged vehicles. Limited time savings. Shunkirk Chevy Waukee. WaukeeChevy.com.
Back to action here. Bottom of the fifth inning. It'll be 2, 3, and 4 in the Waukee order. 7th-ranked Warriors trying to get themselves on the scoreboard, but they have been stymied by lefty Connor Cox. The junior has been very good so far. He has allowed, by my count, 3 hits. His defense has been strong behind him, having committed a defensive error to this point. But third time through, you never know what could happen. First pitch, a called strike here. It is Jackson Wentworth. Wentworth will foul this one off. It's 0-2. He's 0 for 1. Walked in the first and then flew to center back in the second. 2 in the first, 1 in the third for Dowling. Waukee, nothing but zeros to this point. Wentworth, Alex Walsh, Aiden McGee. These are the bigger bats as they bat here in the fifth, as Wentworth hits this one high, foul territory, long, long run, and reaching up and unable to make the catch. And he did make the catch. Wow. Hard to see the good dugout on the right side. Kind of obscuring our viewpoint from up here in the booth, but Hank Hamrick, not just a heavy hitter, but really rangy over there in right field, made an excellent play. It was in foul ground for the first out, so my mistake. Didn't quite see that catch as it was happening, but it is the first out, and Alex Walsh bats. 1-0 is fouled off, and it's 1-1. Walsh, on the first pitch, swinging. Each of his first 2 at-bats flew out to center in the first and lined out hard to Hamrick in right field in the third. It's 1-1 to him here. The lefty Cox delivers. That's well outside. 2-1. Waukee High School baseball fields under a lot of cloud cover, but still skies above us, clear skies above us at least, while the clouds are covering the sun. It's fouled out of play. Across the street. 2-2 is the count. 1 out, nobody on here. Bottom of the fifth inning. The number 3 hitter, senior Alex Walsh. This ball hit over to third. Anderson off a few hops, throws to first base. 2 away. Basically automatic over there on a routine play is Blake Anderson. And that brings up Aiden McGee. McGee, no official at bat.
Number 19, Aiden McGee.
McGee walked in the first and the third. We'll see if Connor Cox finds a way to force him to have to try to put it in play here. And he will. Popped up, infield, playable. Steingreber at shortstop, backing up, backpedaling. He's under it. He's got it. And that'll retire the side. 1-2-3. Cox continues to roll as Dowling still leads at 3-0 as we head to the 6th here live on the Central Iowa Sports Network.
Why do I look for the seal? It's about trust. Whether I'm buying a car, hiring a contractor, finding a tax preparer, or an honest mechanic, the Better Business Bureau's seal means this business meets high standards. When I see the seal, I know I'll get what I pay for. No more taking chances and no more worries. And I feel good about supporting local businesses. My life is so much easier knowing I can always trust BBB accredited businesses. It pays to look for the seal. See for yourself at bbb.org/Iowa.
Central Bank, proud to be a long-standing Iowa tradition. Founded in 1887 in Storm Lake, we've grown over the years from that one location to a bank serving northwest and central Iowa, employing more than 200 people in the region. Being here and being from here, it makes Central Bankers unique in the banking world. Decisions are made here. Investments of our time and resources are made here. For us, banking is still about people. Our reverence for community and hard work.
Defensive change, Parker Hirsch out there at second base, replacing Colin Evers. It's the only change that I see from my vantage point, as Camden Kaufman still out there doing work, which means that they're fine with him going over the 65 pitch mark, which that was pitch 65 right there. So this next pitch will officially take Kaufman out of pitching work for the rest of the week. As his duty, just try to keep this a 3-0 game, keep the team in it the best that he can, and also work as deep as he can to try to avoid having to use a ton of arms. As it's 1-2 here to Charlie Carell leading off this top half of the sixth. Carell is 1 for 2. The 1-2, low and away. Carell an RBI single and a stolen base in the first. He also tried to bunt last time up in the third, but popped it up and it was caught by the catcher Alex Walsh. The 2-2. Popped up, foul out of play, over everything. That'll be over where they're doing some construction out here by the Waukee Public Library. Just to the west of where we are, which is just to the west of the high school. As that's outside, and it's 3-2 to Carell. And the 7th pitch of the at-bat is upcoming. Nice quality at-bat here for Carell and the payoff. And that's misses for ball 4. That walk,
Next up, center fielder,
just the second issued by Kaufman. Derek Enerson is the batter. And he is 0 for 2. Popped up to Kraus at third base in the first, and then struck out swinging in the third, but reached on a throwing error by Walsh, the catcher, trying to throw him out at first base. Quick pickoff throw. If you're wondering about Carell and his running ability, he is 4 for 4 in stolen bases coming into this doubleheader. We haven't seen nearly as many steals as we usually do from Dowling, but they also have not had the number of base runners that you typically would see them. They have been able to work just a few innings worth as Enerson fouls off a bunt attempt. You know, when we saw them against Valley, when we saw them against Lincoln, they had base runners galore, multiple innings of guys reaching first, second base, and stealing a bag. Here, Waukee's done a good job of limiting the number of base runners. It's just that Dowling has found ways to push them across when they've been on base, and they still have had a few stolen bases throughout our doubleheader here. As this one bunted successfully, Enerson goes 1-3. The sacrifice bunt moves Carell over to second. Any insurance run is a good insurance run. And Enerson gets the job done.
Next up, number 21,
One away.
Leo Morrow.
It'll be Leo Morrow batting for Mac Anderson. That has typically been what we've seen. Mac Anderson will hit a couple of times, and then Leo Morrow will get called as a pinch hitter. And he takes a strike here, 0-1. Morrow did pinch hit in the first game and went down on strikes looking against Jackson Payne. 0-1 the count. That ball hit high and foul. It's 0-2. I mean, that was a good hack, just a little bit quick, was Morrow. Morrow 2 for 6 at the plate on the year, but he does have a home run and 3 runs driven in. That came against Valley last week. 0-2 the count with a runner at second and 1 out for Dowling and their senior Leo Morrow in the top of the 6th. Quick pickoff move, but nobody there covering. Just kind of chases Carell back to the bag. It's a good job by Kaufman not to just release that ball thinking somebody would be there. Now both middle infielders kind of floating around the second base bag. Now go back to their positions. Ground ball, third base. Kraus knocks it down, fields it, now throws it over to first. And in time, bang, bang. Morrow thought he was safe, as did the Dowling fans. It was a close play, but Scott Anderson says it was an out. It was close all the way around. Good job by Kraus just to stick with the play after knocking it down and not fielding it cleanly.
Third baseman Blake Anderson.
It goes 5-3 the ground out, and unable to advance was Carell because the ball was hit to the left side of the infield. Didn't want to run right into an out. So with 2 away and a runner on second, the sophomore Blake Anderson will bat, and he's flown out to left field twice. Once in the first, once in the fourth. And this first pitch bounces in there. Getting enough of it was Walsh to slow it down. Carell will not take an advantage and head to third base. 1-0, the count. Sun continues to set. Good line of clouds out to the west, but still clear skies over us here in the western suburb of Waukee in the metro area. The fastest growing of the suburbs right now in terms of percentage. Long look in here from Kaufman. He accepts the sign. The 1-0 on the way. Up high. 2-0. With that little breeze and the sun not being exposed, it's about as perfect as you could hope for. A little bit humid still, of course, but as that ball hammered by Anderson out in the right center field, and it's going to drop in front of the center fielder. Here comes a throw to the plate, and it will be a little offline. Anderson will take second, and now thinks about going to third. Throw comes back behind him at second, but he's in there safely. It'll be an RBI double for Blake Anderson with 2 outs in the inning, and there is that insurance run. Anderson showing the ability to hit on top of his fielding and pitching that we have seen, showing all the tools. So with Anderson at second now, still 2 outs. That'll bring up the 8-hitter, Jake Steingreber, who is 1 for 2. He flew out to right field in the second and had an infield hit last time up in the fourth. 4-0 now our score. Good breaker in there from Camden Kaufman, and it's 0-1. Kaufman has helped keep it close along with his defense, although Waukee has been charged with a few defensive errors. As fouled back. 0-2 here to Steingreber. I have 4 errors in my book charged against Waukee, but the defense has made some plays for him. All but one of the runs that have scored so far has been unearned. As this one inside, 1-2 to the junior shortstop. Waukee has 2 more innings of offense that they could try to muster up a comeback here, but Connor Cox has been very good on the hill as well for the Maroons, allowing just 3 hits to this point. And his defense has been spotless. 1-2 the count to Steingreber. The kick in Kaufman's pitch. Chopper right side, a couple of hops. Charging in as a second baseman. A little underhanded throw, softball style by Wentworth, and he gets the out. But with 2 outs in the inning, Blake Anderson gets an RBI double. It's 4-0. We'll head to the bottom of the 6th. Waukee's got work to do coming back here on CISN.
Here's to everyone who believes in competition and good sportsmanship, who knows it's not about the trophies or the medals, but rather the lessons learned. For those who understand, it's not whether you win or lose, just that you give your best. So go ahead, lace them up, take the field, have fun, and play. For the experience, for the memories, for the love of the game. Shields.
Hi, Ron here, head coach of Westside Auto Pros. When your car's on the injured reserve, you want to get it back in the game as soon as possible. I know that. That's why you need to bring it here to Westside Auto Pros. I have a team of experts that can fix almost every automotive injury, whether it's a fractured joint, a brake, or if your car just got its bell rung, no problem. We can even do a complete physical on your car to make sure it's game ready for the entire season. So bring your car to Westside Auto Pros and we'll get it back in the starting lineup in no time. Hey, you guys are dogging it back here. Let's move it, move it, move it.
And it's Connor Cox going for his 6th inning of work on the hill. It'll be Jackson Payne, Donovan Akis, and Matthew John Jurius. Those are the 3 due-up hitters to face the lefty. He's thrown 74 pitches, been pretty efficient in that regard, 50 strikes and 24 balls. Waukee's got to start thinking about trying to knock a few runs off this deficit if they want a chance to try to salvage a split. They were in pretty good shape in game 1 if you missed that. Led 4-2 in the top of the 7th inning with 2 outs. As this is fouled back by Payne, 0-1. A little single by Owen Brauch at the bottom of the maroon order. Kept the Dowling hopes alive with 2 outs and forced Jackson Payne from the game. Brought in Jackson Wentworth, and when Wentworth got out there, a couple infield hits, an error. Next thing you know, it's 5-4 Dowling, and they held on for the win. Just stealing one to move to 12-1 on the year. Payne, the DH in this second game, he's 0 for 2, grounded to third in the first, and flew out to center in the third. 2-1 the count against him here. And he swings through that one, and it's 2-2. That ground out to third in the first was a tough play. Hard off a couple of hops, and Blake Anderson, the third baseman, just picked it like he was a first baseman before throwing an accurate ball over to first to get him in a close play to get out of what was a jam in the first inning. Waukee's had chances. They've had 7 left on through 5 innings. As the 3-2 on the way. Strike 3 called inside corner, and Payne goes down on strikes. 5th strikeout recorded by Connor Cox.
Next up, center fielder, number 14, Donovan Akis.
And that'll bring up Akis. That painted the inside corner from the lefty, which is not easy to do, to go inside to a right-handed batter and get the call. But he did so there. The reason it's not is just the arm angle. The ball has to travel in a weird spot to really hit that inside part of the plate, but he did so perfectly to get Payne out. Akis fouls the first pitch straight back, and it's 0-1. Akis 0 for 1, hit by a pitch in the second, and then struck out swinging in the third. 0-1 the count. This pitch swung on and missed, 0-2. Cox trying to be a big uplift for his team to go deep in this one. Already has. How much deeper could he go? As it is 1-2 after that pitch misses low and away. Over the 80 pitch mark now. Absolute maximum a kid can throw in a single day is 110 pitches. They can finish a batter's. That's just off the outside corner. Good check swing by Akis to take that one for ball 2. 2-2 the count. The 2-2 the count. That in the air. Deep right side. Hamrick backs up, now comes on and makes the catch for the second out of the inning. And that'll bring up Matthew John Jurius. 110 pitches, by the way, you can finish a batter. So if you hit 110 in the middle of an at-bat, you're able to finish that at-bat, but you must come out at the end of that batter. Sitting at, by my count, 85 pitches right now, so still got plenty of space before he gets to that 110 mark. If he wanted to keep going, or if he could keep going, we'll see what Coach Mark Roaring and his staff decide to do. Matthew John Jurius at the plate. He's 1 for 2, singled and grounded out. This ball into right center field. Long run for Enertson, but he'll make the play ranging deep into the right center field gap. He had a read on that the whole way. And through 6, Connor Cox continues his shutout work. Going to the 7th, Dowling, top-ranked team in Class 4A, still leads it by a score of 4-0 right here on CISN.
Why do I look for the seal? It's about trust. Whether I'm buying a car, hiring a contractor, finding a tax preparer, or an honest mechanic, the Better Business Bureau's seal means this business meets high standards. When I see the seal, I know I'll get what I pay for. No more taking chances and no more worries. And I feel good about supporting local businesses. My life is so much easier knowing I can always trust BBB accredited businesses. It pays to look for the seal. See for yourself at bbb.org/Iowa.
You want to get stronger,
1-2 for Dowling Catholic.
faster,
Grant Mullenbach will lead
healthier.
off. 0 for 2, grounded to third in the second.
You want
And lined out
more.
hard to the shortstop Colin Evers at the time, who also doubled off for runner at second base as part of a double play back in the fourth. Top of the seventh inning, first pitch a strike. Camden Kaufman still out there working, trying to give a seventh inning of work, as we talked about. A little bit of a weird schedule with no game Friday. So Kaufman, regardless of whether or not he is in or out, it looks like the catcher, Alex Walsh, was crossed up there a little bit the way that the ball was foul tipped, and he kind of had a shrug, and he wants to go out and just double check the signs here with Kaufman. These guys have been working together for 6+ innings now, but you never know. Communication still could be some sort of an issue. Mullenbach will be followed, by the way, by Brandon Bickford and Hank Hamrick. Those are the three due-up hitters here in the seventh for Dowling. Dowling's schedule, they have number 7 Waukee for a doubleheader tonight. Looking for the sweep here. Play number 3 Urbandale on the road Wednesday, and then Thursday, number 2 Johnston visits the Maroons. So really good baseball. If you just follow this Dowling Catholic group, you're going to be seeing some good teams. As that pitch fouled and out of play, left side, we'll do the 0-2 again. For Waukee, no skin off them either, as they take on top-ranked Dowling here tonight. 7th-ranked team takes on 4th-ranked Southeast Polk on Wednesday on the road in Pleasant Hill, and then unranked but still dangerous Valley, as that's inside 1-2. Valley a doubleheader right here at the Waukee baseball field on Thursday. No games Friday, of course. A lot of firework displays, 4th of July holiday, heading into the weekend. That's up high, and it's 2-2. To Grant Mullenbach. Two balls and 2 strikes. Wind and the delivery. That ball just poked on a hop over to shortstop. Hirsch with it. His throw to first base. Gets away out of the dirt. And the catcher backing that thing up. Nicely, Alex Walsh hustling down the line. Mullenbach will have a courtesy runner. It'll be Ramel Hernandez.
Next up, designee hitter, number 4, Brandon Bickford.
So Ramel Hernandez is the courtesy runner for the catcher, Mullenbach. That goes on the scoreboard at least as an error. We'll go with him on that, E6. It's Parker Hirsch. That's the first chance he's had since coming on as a defensive replacement a couple of innings ago. Hernandez, good speed over at first base. He's 3 for 3 in stolen bases coming into the doubleheader. Bickford showing bunt, pushes it to the first base side. Kaufman's got it. It'll go 1-3. Good unselfish baseball there from the DH Bickford.
Number 12, Hank Hamrick.
That moves Hernandez over to second, another potential insurance run. And Hank Hamrick now to the plate. He's 2 for 3, a double, a run scored in the first, and a solo shot in the right field in the third, and then he popped up off the hands of the pitcher Kaufman back in the 5th. 4th time up to face Kaufman. Kaufman a long look in. This will be the 90th pitch for Kaufman, so he still has 20 pitches to work with before that 110 threshold. There's just high for ball 1. Pitch count only really a factor if you get to that 110 mark, because regardless of whether he stops now or stops later, Kaufman is not going to be available to pitch either of the next 2 games on Wednesday and Thursday. Hamrick, high pop-up. Infield, it is going to be Wentworth at second. He's under it, and he's got it for out number 2. Hernandez stays at second.
Next up, second baseman, number 27.
And that'll bring up Adam Brauch. Kaufman trying to get through 7 strong innings here, and I know he's down on the scoreboard 4-0, but against this offense, he has given his guys the time and the chances to try to keep him in the game, but Connor Cox just won't have any of it, nor will his defense behind him for the Maroons. 4-0 still our score. Big curveball comes in high to Brauch, and it's 1-0. Adam Brauch, the senior second baseman, is 1 for 3. Struck out swinging in the first, singled in the third, and then flew out in foul ground. Right side. Nice play was made by Matthew Jonjurius. He hits this one a ton out in the left center field, though. That ball's got a chance way back, and that ball is off the wall. Hernandez scores from second. Brauch pulls up with a 2-out. Run scoring double. And the insurance run again with 2 outs scores.
Next up, first baseman, number 20, Charlie Corral.
Yeah, and Charlie Corral now comes up with 2 outs and a runner on second with it now a 5-0 game. Good situational baseball here. Each of the last 2 innings. We've seen them this year put together huge rallies as Corral flares this foul right side and won't be playable. 0-1 the count. Corral is 1 for 2, single and an RBI, stolen base in the first. He popped a bunt attempt up, and it was caught by the catcher Alex Walsh in the third and foul ground, and then he walked and scored in the 6th. After that walk, he was bunted over to third by Enertson, and then eventually scored on Blake Anderson's double. As that just misses, and it's 1-1. You're looking ahead for Waukee, down by 5 runs. It'll have to start at the bottom of the order. Is Parker Hirsch, Cooper Kraus, and Jacob Barton are the 3 scheduled hitters in the book. The 1-1. Swung on and missed for a strike, and it's 1-2 here to Corral. Enertson is on deck should Corral reach. The runner at second, Adam Brauch, good speed. Brauch has been caught stealing in this game when he tried to take second, but still got great wheels. That ball line drive, and it's caught about shin high by Matthew Jonjurius over at first base. We'll head to the bottom of the 7th. Final chance for Waukee. And Connor Cox will look to finish it up himself when we return. 5-0 Dowling right here on the Central Iowa Sports Network.
We might not always know what the day will bring, but some things are certain. The sun will rise and your lights will go on. That's because at MidAmerican Energy, we're obsessively, relentlessly committed to providing you energy when and where you need it, to connecting with you and keeping our communities safe and strong. Because the most important thing we put our energy into is you. We're obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
Here's to everyone who believes in competition and good sportsmanship, who knows it's not about the trophies or the medals, but rather the lessons learned. For those who understand, it's not whether you win or lose, just that you give your best. So go ahead, lace them up, take the field, have fun, and play. For the experience, for the memories, for the love of the game. Shields.
Connor Cox wants one more shot at finishing this game. The junior has been very, very good, but do not take anything off of the effort from Camden Kaufman, the sophomore for Waukee. 7 innings, 7 hits, 5 runs, 3 earned with 2 walks and 2 strikeouts. And that's all assuming Waukee doesn't find a way to force extras here. And Kaufman still very well. He still has 13 pitches to work with based on the final numbers that you could get from the pitch count rules. Not sure that we would see him if that were to be the case, but still a lot of offensive work to do here. Down 5 runs. Parker Hirsch.
Number 22, Parker Hirsch.
Parker Hirsch, a senior, will bat, and he replaced Colin Evers as a defensive replacement a couple of innings back, and he'll take a strike from Connor Cox, 0-1. Hirsch this season just 1 for 3 at the plate. The one was a double, and he has an RBI. Also has drawn a walk and has struck out once. And there's another strike, 0-2. Evers, by the way, was 0 for 2 in the game with a couple of strikeouts. On deck, Cooper Kraus, and then back to the top, Jacob Barton, the 3 scheduled hitters here for Waukee. This one fouled straight back by Hirsch, and it's 0-2. And we'll do it again. Dowling having to really grit out a come-from-behind win with 3 in the 7th inning to this off the outside corner. It was a good frame attempt by Mullenbach from behind the plate, but to no avail, and it's 1-2 to Hirsch. This Dowling team just has a lot of different elements that make them a dangerous team. It's just popped out into shallow right field. Who's it going to be? It'll be the second baseman, Adam Brauch, ranging really deep into right field. I mean, he was basically where the right fielder you would think would be in that spot. And Hamrick just kind of let him have it. That could have been dangerous because a lot of times the outfielders are told just to call him off no matter what. Well, he trusted Brauch, and Brauch made the catch for out number 1 here in the bottom of the 7th. Cooper Kraus first pitch. That's popped up. Nearly the same spot, a little more shallow. Brauch under it again, and he'll catch it quickly 2 away. So now Kraus is 2 for 3 as he
Now hitting number 9, left fielder Jacob Barton.
had a couple of singles to that point, did Cooper Kraus, and now it's Jacob Barton's turn. He has not had too much luck against this lefty, Connor Cox. Grounded to second twice and struck out once. And this is the last chance here for Waukee, trailing 5-0. First pitch, up high, 1-0. Barton is a very good average hitter. 4th time through might be the charm for him. But the crafty lefty Cox and also has been throwing some good velocity. That one just misses outside and at the knees, and it's 2-0. A loss here, Waukee would fall to 7-7, but they do have some quality wins, which is why they found themselves at number 7 in the rankings entering this ranking period. As this is popped foul, long run, left side, and it'll be out of play. Mac Anderson gave it a good effort out there. Actually, I believe it's Leo Morrow stayed in the game to play left field. My mistake. 2-1 here to Barton. With 2 outs and nobody on. The pitch, that's low and away, and it's 3-1. If he reaches, Jackson Wentworth will get a crack at it. He's 0 for 2 with a walk. 4th time, you never know. Every single time the batter sees the guy again, knows a little bit more, has a little bit more of an advantage. 3-1. That ball hit on a line. Diving to his left is Brauch. Throw to first. In time! What a play by Brauch off a hop. And that'll retire the side and end the game. Brauch gets Barton 3 times, and he has all 3 outs here in this 7th inning, and that'll do it. Dowling gets the sweep. What an excellent job defensively in Game 2 all the way around for the Maroons. And they move to 13-1. We'll take a break, come back with the final stats for them. Game number 2 right after this, right here on CISN.
Central Bank, proud to be a long-standing Iowa tradition. Founded in 1887 in Storm Lake, we've grown over the years from that one location to a bank serving northwest and central Iowa, employing more than 200 people in the region. Being here and being from here, it makes Central Bankers unique in the banking world. Decisions are made here. Investments of our time and resources are made here. For us, banking is still about people. Our reverence for community and hard work speaks to a proud Iowa heritage. Our passion for small business to bold new directions forward for our bank and the Iowans we serve. Thank you for your support of Central Bank. Let's keep it going. Let's plan together. Let's execute for Iowa's small business, agricultural, and individual banking customers. Central Bank is ready to make it happen. Member FDIC.
Why do I look for the seal? It's about trust. Whether I'm buying a car, hiring a contractor, finding a tax preparer, or an honest mechanic, the Better Business Bureau's seal means this business meets high standards. When I see the seal, I know I'll get what I pay for. No more taking chances and no more worries. And I feel good about supporting local businesses. My life is so much easier knowing I can always trust BBB accredited businesses. It pays to look for the seal. See for yourself at bbb.org/Iowa.
Here's to everyone who believes in competition and good sportsmanship, who knows it's not about the trophies or the medals, but rather the lessons learned. For those who understand, it's not whether you win or lose, just that you give your best. So go ahead, lace them up, take the field, have fun, and play. For the experience, for the memories, for the love of the game. Shields.
In a recent spring storm, a freak tornado formed and moved through the north side of Shunkirk Chevy Waukee. Depending on damage, most new vehicles with minor cosmetic imperfections. Affected new Chevys will be sold for thousands below market value, with a limited number of storm-damaged vehicles available. Time is of the essence to take advantage of this opportunity. You get the rebates and discounts. Now take thousands more off storm-damaged vehicles. Limited time savings. Shunkirk Chevy Waukee. WaukeeChevy.com.
Hi, Ron here, head coach of Westside Auto Pros. When your car's on the injured reserve, you want to get it back in the game as soon as possible. I know that. That's why you need to bring it here to Westside Auto Pros. I have a team of experts that can fix almost every automotive injury. Whether it's a fractured joint, a brake, or if your car just got its bell rung, no problem. We can even do a complete physical on your car to make sure it's game ready for the entire season. So bring your car to Westside Auto Pros and we'll get it back in the starting lineup in no time. Hey, you guys are dogging it back here. Let's move it, move it, move it.
Back one final time here from Waukee High School's baseball field. Dowling Catholic picks up the sweep, 5-0 here in Game 2. They move to 13-1 on the season. Waukee, the 7th-ranked team in the state, 7-7 now, their record. Dowling scored 5 runs on 7 hits, no defensive errors, 5 were left on base. Waukee, 0 runs scored. 3 hits, 5 defensive errors, 7 were left on base. Connor Cox picks up the win. He retired the last 10 he faced. He moved to 2-1 on the season for a complete game 3-hit shutout. Camden Kaufman pitched well as well, but a hard luck loser, 0-1 his record as he goes a complete game in the loss. 1 hour, 32 minutes, our game time. For the top-ranked Maroons, Brandon Bickford at the top of the order went 0 for 3 but did score a run. Hank Hamrick went 2 for 4 with 2 runs scored and an RBI. Adam Brock went 2 for 4 with an RBI. Charlie Carell went 1 for 3 with a run scored and an RBI. Derek Enertson went 0 for 2, had a sac bunt. Mac Anderson 0 for 1 with a walk. Leo Morrow went 0 for 1 as a pinch hitter. Blake Anderson went 1 for 3 with an RBI double. Jake Steingreber went 1 for 3, and Grant Mullenbach went 0 for 3. Reached on an error, and Ramel Hernandez scored a run running for him. Connor Cox was outstanding. 7 innings of work for the junior, just 3 hits, no runs, 3 walks, 5 strikeouts. He threw 98 pitches, 64 were strikes, 34 were balls, and he won't be available to pitch until next Monday. For 7th-ranked Waukee, Jacob Barton went 0 for 4 at the top of the order with Jackson Wentworth 0 for 2 with a walk. Alex Walsh went 0 for 3. Aiden McGee went 0 for 1 with 2 walks. Jackson Payne in the DH spot went 0 for 3. Donovan Akis went 0 for 2 with a hit by pitch. Matthew John Jurius went 1 for 3. Colin Evers went 0 for 2. He was lifted, and pinch hitter Parker Hirsch went 0 for 1. And Cooper Krause went 2 for 3. Camden Kaufman, he was pretty solid as well. 7 innings of work. He threw a complete game. The sophomore allowed just 7 hits, 5 runs. 3 of those were earned. He did have a little bit of shoddy defense behind him as 5 errors were committed behind him. 2 walks, 2 strikeouts. He threw 97 pitches, 60 strikes, and 37 balls. I don't know how often that happens where you have 2 teams that throw both complete games, but that's exactly what we had here for game number 2. Once again, Dowling improves 13-1. They're number 1 for a reason, and they showed it tonight, both in come-from-behind fashion, also in their depth in pitching. A guy like Connor Cox being able to go a complete game, 3-hit shutout. That's exactly what you like to see from a guy that might be 4th, 5th, maybe even 6th at any one time in terms of the guys available for the pitching staff. For Waukee, they're certainly going to be a force to be reckoned with as well. Waukee next will take on 4th-ranked Southeast Polk on the road in Pleasant Hill. So that will be one game to watch, 7 versus 4. That will be in Southeast Polk's baseball field on Wednesday. Also on Wednesday, Urbandale will host the Dowling Catholic Maroons. That's a 1 versus 3 matchup. Top-ranked Dowling taking on number 3 and defending state champion Urbandale. Certainly something to pay attention to. Speaking of Wednesday, let's go ahead and take a look at what we have coming for you on CISN.TV. It's a matchup of 4 ranked teams, actually, as Ankeny and Ankeny Centennial will meet in Ankeny, a battle for Ankeny, CIML matchup, and you can watch it on CISN.TV. the 5th-ranked Ankeny Hawk baseball team taking on 10th-ranked Ankeny Centennial, and then 11th-ranked Centennial softball team taking on the 15th-ranked Ankeny softball team. So all 4 teams that you'll see on CISN TV, they are ranked, and you can see that by going to CISN.TV for his full season pass, $30. $5 will get you a single game pass. Big thanks to our entire crew here, Justin Smith running the board and directing the show, Alec Roth for his camera work. My name's Emery Songer. We thank you for joining us. Once again, Dowling Catholic picks up 2 wins, 5-4 in game number 1 in come-from-behind fashion, and a 5-0 shutout victory in game number 2 to move to 13-1. Waukee falls to 7-7. You watched it and heard it right here on the Central Iowa Sports Network.